blow through, speed up, signal, visual signal to indicate general direction of enemy, return fire, proportional and accurate fires within the rules of engagement or ROE, send a report, move to a rally point away from site based on SOP and METTTC, establish 360-degree security, send ACE report, continue the mission, reach to contact, recovery, no obstacle. Convoy is forced to stop, no obstacle to movement, convoy stops, dismount. Dismounts establish 360-degree security, maintain sector scan, fire, look for indications of enemy presence, achieve fire superiority by maneuvering guns, trucks, escorts if available to support by fire positions, report to higher headquarters and request assistance if needed, dismounts recovery casualties from cold side of vehicle. Recovery vehicle executes hasty recovery with strap, chain, or cable, or have a rear vehicle push disabled vehicle out of kill zone. Convoy continues movement. Gun truck, escort vehicles cover. Movement out of area. Convoy moves to rally point. It establishes 360-degree security. CC sends ACE report. Convoy continues the mission. How to react, how to contact, recovery, obstacle. Crowd or other impediment prevents movement and convoy is forced to stop. Convoy stops. VCs and other personnel and vehicles dismount. Drivers and CSW operators remain on the vehicle and remain ready to react. Establish 360-degree scrutiny. Maintain sector scan fire. Look for indications of enemy presence. Achieve fire superiority by maneuvering gun trucks, escorts to support by fire positions. Dismounts recover casualties from cold side of vehicle. CC assesses situation and establishes a hasty defense and awaits QRF or directs escort force to assault through ambush using fire and maneuver. Hasty attack. Gun trucks, designated marksmen, assault force suppresses identified threat with accurate fires. Gun trucks maneuver to suitable position to protect convoy and cut off enemy egress route by fire. Discuss sectors of observation and fields of fire in a convoy. Sector of observation is comprised of the entire area visible to the crew member. Not all areas that can be observed can be affected by direct fire. Observers scan both in depth and width without excessive focus on any object, activity, or person. Their eyes do not depart from their sector of observation regardless of what others within their vehicle are doing. Driver's sector of observation is from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. VC sector of observation is from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Sector of fire is the area that can be covered with direct fire. Consider designating primary and alternate sectors of fire for both crew compartment as well as CSW personnel. Drivers must be trained to fire their weapon while continuing to operate the vehicle. The driver's primary mission is to operate the vehicle and should only engage targets if the vehicle is halted unless there is no one else who can neutralize the threat from that side. Driver sector of fire is from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. VC sector of fire is from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Discuss convoy communications. Primary means of communication with movement control, air support, and within the convoy is by radio. Radios must be secure, capable communications means. There are three types of communications to be considered. vehicle internal, vehicle to vehicle, external to convoy. Alternate communication techniques within the convoy, such as hand signals, pyrotechnics, vehicle signals, etc. Techniques must be covered by the CC during the convoy briefing and rehearsals. Strive to have a minimum of 2 GPS navigation and messaging systems within each convoy. CC and ACC must know theater level convoy channel to coordinate with battalion level command posts that monitor and can assist with QRF. They must also know the emergency frequencies for medevac and air support along the route and brief this information to the drivers. Most USAF aircraft are not single-channel ground and airborne radio system sync GARS capable, with the exception of Joint Surveillance Target Attack Radar System JSTARS and some special operations aircraft. Identify characteristics and considerations of a roadable IED or VB-IED. IEDs are one of the greatest threats to convoys and are often used to initiate an ambush. Convoy personnel should always expect an ambush immediately following an IED detonation. CCs should brief convoy personnel on the latest IED threat, what types of IEDs are being used, and where they have previously been placed along the route. The bottom line is to protect the convoy. All personnel must maintain situational awareness, looking for actual IEDs and likely IED hiding places. Varying routes and times, switching lanes at random, entering overpasses on one side of the road and exiting on the other, training weapons and overpasses as the convoy passes under them, and avoiding choke points will reduce the risks from these devices. When to expect an IED attack? Anytime. IEDs present reduced exposure time for the enemy compared to a traditional ambush. Mornings are especially dangerous. Many IEDs are placed under cover of darkness, periods of reduced visibility. Suspicion categories. The following categories enable leaders to better prioritize responses and minimize wasting time or resources. Level 1. Large amounts of debris on road that has a history of recent IED attacks. Level 2. Evidence of ongoing emplacement, prepared holes, no device visible, removed curbstone, suspicious activity, or total lack of activity when there would be otherwise. Report immediately. Level 3. Suspicious object, activity, or condition on road. Rucksacks, mailbags, dead animals, meals, ready to eat, MRE bags, roadside mounds, rock piles, etc. could conceal an IED. There are no obvious IED indicators, such as wires, dead cord, antennas. Report immediately. Requires explosive ordnance disposal, EOD response. Level 3. Clear indicators of imminent IED activity, protruding wires, an individual with a command detonating device, etc. Verifiable and easily identified. Report immediately. Requires direct action or EOD response. IEDs may be constructed using mortar shells, artillery projectiles, anti-tank mines, diesel fuel rockets, black powder, fertilizer, chemical explosives, etc. Construction is only limited by enemy's imagination. IEDs can be hidden in potholes, abandoned vehicles, and dead animal carcasses, and secured telephone poles and guardrails. IEDs may be disguised as loose trash, debris, trash bags, soda cans, milk cans, buckets, burlap bags, MRE bags, etc. IEDs may be command detonated, victim activated, or timed. Car alarms, battery operated remote doorbell devices, remote controlled light switches, and cordless and cellular telephones are common means of detonation. Insulated wire or det cord is used to connect the detonator to the explosive. IEDs can be dropped from or attached to the underside of overpass. Drivers should watch for suspicious activity on overpasses and never stop under one. Enemy hide positions will usually have line of sight to the kill zone and easy escape route. IEDs are commonly placed along the side of the road, on the shoulder, or placed on the median strip. IEDs can be daisy chained in a decoy attack. A daisy chain is one or more explosive devices wired together so that a single signal will detonate all the munitions at once. VBIEDs, as illustrated in figures 4-4 and 5-4-5, can be initiated by either the driver, an occupant, or remotely. SUVs, pickup trucks, and delivery trucks can carry a large payload. Watch for abandoned vehicles, vehicles parked where they do not belong, vehicles sitting low on suspension system due to weight of explosives, and vehicles with loose wires hanging off of them. Mobile VBIEDs may ignore warnings or wave-offs when approaching checkpoints, TCPs, or convoys. Suspicious activities and objects. Abandoned or disabled vehicles parked on or near the roadway. Animal-drawn carts or wagons moving near or on the roadway. Signs of tampering, exposed wires or objects taped or otherwise attached to the backsides of quad rails. Fresh concrete or asphalt work on or around the road surface. Suspicious packages, containers, or any other foreign objects on or near the roadway. Markings warning the local population of IEDs, such as a blue X painted on a rock. Obtain latest techniques from Intel S2 during pre-convoy brief. Third-party vehicles attempting to pass or enter convoy formation. Third-party personnel, including children approaching convoy vehicles, may be wearing explosive vests. Possible indicators of an IED or impending ambush. Absence of women and children were normally present. Dramatic changes in population from one block to the next. No activity where there are normally large crowds. Sudden activity within crowds as convoy approaches. Small IEDs can be thrown. Third-party personnel dispersing or disappearing as convoy approaches, sudden reduction or absence of civilian traffic, signals with flares, city flights turned off on as convoy approaches, suspicious movement in upper floor windows of buildings, presence of vehicles or personnel on overpasses, third-party personnel with video cameras or presence of a media crew. Vehicle following convoy for long distances and then pulling off to the side. Freshly dug holes along the roadway. Possible future IED site. Reported personal inside traffic circles. Driving considerations. Be unpredictable. Vary SP times and convoy routes. Attach signs to convoy vehicles in common languages of the indigenous population warning civilians to stay clear of military vehicles. Configure vehicle to eliminate blind spots, moving mirrors, fording kits, and avoid obscuring vision during vehicle hardening. Use available optics to facilitate scanning, binoculars, tube-launched optically tracked wire-guided missile side optics, other weapon sights, handheld forward-looking infrared devices, etc. If available, use two designated spotter personnel to scan using optics in the forward convoy element. Use available electronic countermeasure systems. Wear helmets, ballistic vests with collars attached, seat belts, and ballistic eye protection. Maintain the minimum designated convoy speed when possible. If conditions permit, periodically change your rate of speed and vary convoy formations to avoid predictability. Maintain vehicle interval, avoid accordion effect. Watch for visible ordnance on the road. Convoys may be channeled into the kill zone after the lead vehicle discovers a suspected IED in the open. Follow the tracks of preceding vehicles on unpaved roads. Stay on the pavement to avoid driving on the shoulder of the road. Travel in the lane best suited to allow rapid travel. If conditions permit, travel down the middle of the road, changing lanes often to stay as far away as possible from IEDs on the median and breakdown lane. If convoy must stop, watch the flanks for IEDs, dismount and establish 360-degree security. Use rolling stop when halting, slow vehicle and scan using 525 scan pattern for IEDs before coming to a complete stop. Exercise caution at choke points, watch for vehicle breakdowns, bridges, one-way roads, traffic jams, and sharp turns. Once dismounted, initially conduct a 525 scan for IEDs.